again, folks. Today I thought I would do, well, it's a video I've been meaning to do for a little while actually, just a few little hints and tips what might actually help some people on their way with lever lock picking, especially the lever padlocks. Steve Dew has just had one given to him by Cox's Picks. Isa Mitsushi has just got into lever lock picking as well. And I intend to be making a few little picks and sending a few little things around in the community just to spread the infection the same way Cox did with me with handcuffs. So while I was on that subject of the how-to, I did remember the awesome and wonderful Nick Vitt has got a giveaway going on, and he would like us to do either a comment or a video on hints on tips for people. So I thought, well, let's not do both in the same. So if you don't know Nick Vitt, he flew through the belts and got a black belt in no time at all. And he does some brilliant how-to videos. He's covered spools recently and all sorts of other pins, how they interact. And he's very much just recently just done a how to pick a lock with bumper keys. So go and check him out. I'll leave a link down below. Awesome. And may I say thank you for the giveaway opportunity. It's always nice to have a bit of fun. So, lever locks. Oh, also, I've just checked him and he's on 660, which also happens to be 660 subs, sorry, which also happens to be one of my favourite lever locks of all time, the Squire 660. So, coincidentally, that's what it is. I just like that sort of thing. Just thought I'd point that out. Anyway, I digress. This is going to be a bit of a ramble as well as a how-to video. So, where do we start? First of all, I'm going to start with saying a huge thank you to somebody else, and that is for the fighting lock picker, because he has just recently sent me this chunky monkey. He commented on a video recently where someone was picking a Yale with one of these credit card pick sets, and he did say, well, he'd have to get one. So I sent him one anyway, but he couldn't just take that. So he sent me this in return, and I'm pleased to send him a sticker and a pen as well, because this is such a beauty. So I don't know much about it. It's got a 48 on it here and on the key, and other than that I don't know. It's got the arrow on here of crow's foot, which signifies military use, but again I don't know if it's genuine. It's certainly a beefy lock. So thank you for that fighting lock picker. It's another one that it sets himself challenges as you do in the Shackleman style. I'll leave links down below to a couple of his videos. Go and check him out, because, well, his entry to my last giveaway was hilarious. It had me proper laughing. Really good. So anyway, I'm rambling. Right, lever lock picking. Where do we start? This is a cutaway, and I had this made. This was kindly done to me by LWB Yarn, because I bought a job lot of these belfries. I sent one to Coxie, one to Chris, one to Roy, one to Jeremy. He was the first person to ever send me a 660, which is how I ended up in this lever lock rabbit hole. And I couldn't pick it. Really strong spring on this. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So I had a custom made. So in here we can actually see what's going on. Let's have a look. Get my pointy thing. So in here we've got the bolt at the back, and then we've got all the levers here, which correspond to the bitting on the key. Each one of these lifts on the key here, and so on. That tells us how high we need to lift the lever in order for the slot to align and a bolt on the gate to pass through. So let's put that down a minute. We can just about see it lift the levers. Again, it's such a strong spring on this, sorry. I've tried picking this on camera and I've only managed to pick it once, and that wasn't on camera. So they all line up, and then that catches the bolt there, which then releases the shackle there, just there. And then once it's thrown, obviously that's open. Now, same on the other side, the key will pick up all the levers and get them to the right height. It's really hard to show, especially with such a snap on this thing. So I'm not going to try and pick this one today on camera. That's for another day. I just wanted to show you what we're doing, because when you're picking, you need your tensioner in, and that's what goes through right to the back to catch the bolt. You see a bit of movement there. Move the slider out the way. And then it's a matter of trying to get the camera to focus for one. Lift the levers and turn like that. So that's staying there. Hell of a lot of tension you need on this thing. I don't think I'm going to get this picked. But that's the principle anyway. That's what we're doing inside. We're using something to grab a bolt at the back. And then we need to manipulate the wires. Now sometimes the wires won't bind. The levers won't bind. And this brings me on to my tip. What you need to do while the tension's on, we'll let it go a minute and reset it, but get the tension on a bit and then pull the tensioner forward, and that in essence squashes the levers like so. And just to demonstrate what I mean, this is how I came across this. This is an ERA. It's a piped padlock. So I'm going to use the UK log pickers tool, and this is the lock I learnt this on. And that is, if I go straight in, like so, that's binding on the bolt. Now, if I, while I'm binding slightly, pull this out, look how much more steel you can see around that masking tape. I'm just going to show you the difference. That's how much you can squash those levers together to try and make them stick and stay up. So that's your first tip. The second tip is obviously make sure you've got a wire long enough. We're going to go back to this lock because it's brand new to me. Massive piped keyway, which will suit this new belfry picking tool somewhat. That does work. So yes, we'll lock this up. Another tip is, while you're picking or when you get a new lock, you can look down there to see if you can see any levers. Now in this model, it turns out you can't, because right down in there we've got a big piece of brass cloaking and shielding the levers from us. So we can't see in there. Whereas on one of these, you can see a bit better. Well, not in the video anyway, which is useful, isn't it? Here we go. This one's better. So yeah, you can open the shackle, as you can see the levers moving, which means you can also, bear with me, you can lock it closed with the shackle out the way, and then while you're picking it, bear with me, while you're picking it, you can try and see. It's hard to do it. This is really twisted. There. So the point is, again, it was hard to demonstrate around the camera, but the point is, you don't need the shackle down with it locked. So you can lock it with a shackle open, and then you can look down there and see what you're doing while you're doing this as a visual aid. For what it's worth, I'll do the same. I'll use a headlamp and my magnifying spectacles, because I've got the eyes of a mole some days. But that's another tip anyway. Pick where your shackle open. Next tip, as well as pulling it forward and picking the shackle open, is once you've found the right tensioner, make sure your wire is going to be long enough, and that is with a keyway. There you go. If you do have a key, you can hold it next to your key. Imagine in the bottom half of that key is going to be tensioner. So, but if you don't have a key, you can always just use the keyway as a governor, you see. So, right. Now, that being said, I want to see if I can get into this lock, which seems to have a spring on it. If anybody knows what make of lock this is, please tell me, because I don't know. All it's got is 48 and an army stamp, and I'm dubious about the genuineness of that. So, oh, shutter locks as well. These can be annoying. As you can see, it wants to keep dropping down. So you can do option 1, use a bit of blue tack. Option 2, use an elastic band around the body to hold it up. Option 3, just turn it upside down. And get your picking. Once your pick's in, it doesn't really matter. And there's another thing as well. You see a lot of people as well holding the pick wire way back here. Well, the technique I like to do, I like to have my finger over here on the back of the tensioner, like so, because you think, it's keyway again, there's a lot of play there. Whereas if you put your finger on the tensioner, it just gives you a bit more control. Put it in the wrist or your thumb, you can take that. But that's my way anyway. So I've got the tensioner in. We'll see if it comes forward any, which it doesn't really. And then we'll see. I felt a bit of movement there on the tensioner at the back of a lever pack. I'm using quite a lot of tension as well. As you saw, it had quite a spring on it. Yeah, sometimes as well, the shutter cap can actually help you, because it will come down and trap your wire and stop it sliding around. If I want it over here, I can keep it there, which you will. There we go. Tip it upside down, just to get the dust clip off. Get my wire out, finish turning it, and then we're open. Now, here's another little thing. That's open. Sometimes your tensioner might not be long enough to throw the bolt all the way across. You remember this thing at the back? Sometimes this won't go all the way over if your upright isn't long enough to throw it all the way over. So, if you do have a key, you can pop it in. You'll listen in a minute. Or has it got it? Yeah, no, it did get it. First time I picked this, it didn't actually do it. So, yeah, if it doesn't actually throw it all the way, so you can't lock it again, just put the key in, turn it around as if you're going to unlock it. You'll hear a final little click as it throws it the last 2 mil, and then come back, go to lock it, and it will lock straight away. Failing that, if you don't have a key, get your wire in there, right to the top, get it under the bolt, and then just give it a final flick. And then you can pick it closed again if you want, which I did recently on one of my recent videos. Also, on top of that, I think it was my last one maybe, I picked this one, but I did pick it with a tensioner with a hole for a post much bigger. And again, you can get away with that if you use the system I use, where you keep your finger as a guide along the back, because you can control it a lot more. Like so. So obviously that's stuck now. I'll sort it out in a minute. So yeah, obviously this is the right tool, this is the wrong tool. It just goes to show you can use the wrong tool again. There we go, got it out now. Even though that's for a lock with a bigger post, if you steady your tool, you can get away with it. So there you go. I hope that's it. I hope that's all right. And yeah, lots of little tips for you there, folks, if you're getting into levers. Yeah, go and check out Nick Vet, and also the Fighting Lockpicker, who was a diamond and sent me this beauty. And if anybody please knows what brand this is or anything about it, please let me know, because I'm dying to know. So yeah, until next time, take care everyone, and that's it for now. Bye bye.